Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Robocraft with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to Factory Fun, the series in which you tell me which robots to try from the community factory, and I do so to the very best of my ability, giving my honest first impressions, and of course, rating the bot out of 5 in both style and combat. In today's episode, we have the X-Sniper, a robot which you're going to have to assemble quite a bit yourself, with blue representing proto-seekers, one on the top and one on the bottom, orange representing the railguns, and of course grey representing the walker legs. So I've went ahead and already finished off one by myself so we can see just how it looks. It looks very interesting, definitely not like most of the robots you see in the maximum ranking battles, and from what I've seen in just a very quick test mode just to make sure everything works, and from what I've seen just by looking at the robot, so the true sense of seeing it, it really seems to have no major problems. It's definitely more of a leaper than a flyer, although it can technically fly for an indefinite amount of time with both pitch controls, pitching up and pitching down. It's quite slow and sluggish, and turning is incredibly difficult, so you really don't want to spend too much time in the air. However, when it leaps forward, it does so incredibly quickly, so it will definitely be used quite a lot to get from one perch to the next for our railguns, which of course are our main weapon type. The only early concern I've got is about the two Protonium Seekers, one on the top and one on the bottom, or Proto-Seekers as they're actually called. The one on the bottom I originally thought was because, well, this is a flyer-walker hybrid. Since we're going to be in the air, perhaps this is an anti-ground weapon for when you're flying around, but like I said, it doesn't really seem to be in the air all that much, and is being blocked by the legs and the med gun. The one on the top has a similar issue of being blocked by these two railguns, and the railguns may even be blocked by it, so it's going to be a little bit weird, but only time will tell, and only a little bit of battle experience will actually show how good or how not good this robot truly is. I've got high hopes because of the leaping capability, but how much will the weapons actually be an issue? I've said things like that in the past where things look like they're going to clip or just not work properly, and then been completely pleasantly surprised as they worked absolutely fine. So I'm hoping this is one of those cases. So let's get straight into a team deathmatch and see how the robot handles. The first battle has just started, and sadly we are outnumbered, and neither team has a Megabot, so I'm just going to try and be sticking to the vantage points and seeing how much I can do. Showing off my pro sniper skills there already. So that's your flak weapon there. Can we take it out? No, we did a fair bit of damage otherwise, and a pro dodge of the plasma, thus redeeming me for my terrible sniping skills at the start. Okay. Well, there goes his back half, and there goes nothing. Now, he was firing me earlier, but his weapons are quite exposed. The reload on these rails is actually quite high because we only have 4 of them. So it may look like sometimes I'm simply not taking shots, it's just a matter of I'm not ready to take a shot yet. And that has already been a little bit of an issue. Perhaps this robot going more into one weapon type might be better, I don't know. It's hard to tell with such little experience so far. Well, we hit it twice, so hopefully that flak weapon will be taken out soon. Oh, there goes half his body, and there goes the enemy flak. Glorious. Maybe I should be focusing on his gun there. That might be a better idea. There it goes. And let's just jump ahead, since we're not really doing anything anymore. Get the healing weapon ready, since we've got quite a few hurt people around us. Sir, please, allow me to heal you. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your glorious RP from your pain. You, on the other hand, get no heal because we now have a target. Oh, hello, enemy plasma user. I think that first shot clipped into the bot. Okay, this isn't going well. Let's just make it a little bit more difficult for him to hit us. We broke apart very quickly there, so at least we tested out how sturdy we were. Not very, but again, first experiences can be deceiving. I do love the jumping element, though, I will say. Not the best first experience, but a lot of that was user error. Hey, we're in the top 4. Excellent. Because we're number 4, that's why we're in the top 4. I could have said top 5 and therefore not been in the bottom of the category I just put us in, but that would seem, I don't know, less good. Delicious. So how do I feel about it? I actually really like the style, and I love having that many legs. I don't know why, but it makes robots look so insectoid, using the insect legs. Of course it does. But honestly, I love that look, so I'm going to give it a 4. I really like that. Combat, for now, I'm going to give a 3 because I'm still uncertain about several elements. Although I definitely didn't play overly well there, the rails clipped several times. I noticed the proto-seeker simply wasn't doing any damage when I tried to use it twice, purely because it was clipping into everything else. And actually, that's all the complaints I had. The medgun was fine, control-wise, absolutely perfect, the jumping is really fun, and the movement is really good as well. I just feel like this section at the top is a bit too compact. Perhaps it's horrible to say, but maybe losing legs, I don't know, maybe losing a couple of legs to add a couple of weapons further out might be better. It's hard to say right now. So let's get into another team deathmatch so we have more of an educated guess on what should be done in the future. Second battle had some loading issues there, and because I am jiggling, I can't actually aim with the rail at the moment. The reticule is not focusing because of the constant movement. It would be lovely if that issue simply went away sometime soon. Well, one hit against the Tesseract there, a couple of bits of damage to the other fellow, and I would very much love if we could stop him from escaping. Like so. And now our friends can devour him. I'm sorry, sir. That was an interesting hiding place. Didn't work very well, but definitely interesting. A lot of people still using the Alienware bot. I will be posting a link in the description to my video on how to actually get that robot, as it is a free robot with 1 free day of premium. If the code is expired, or well, if the amount of codes has already reached 0, the link won't be there. Or at least, hopefully won't be there. Please stop jiggling! Oh, come on, this is so unfair. Proto-seeker damage! Yay! We got like 1 hit. Now, this is definitely not due to weight. This is just because of the leg placement on this particular bot. Also, we are losing. Ooh, that was a nasty bit of damage against him, though. Uh-oh. Bad things abound. Well, we took out 1 of his aerofoils, so that should get him on the ground, hopefully. Yep. Change over to the Protonium Seekers, the Proto-Seekers, so we can finish him off. Glorious. And completely miss the enemy there. Get a hit. Can we hit again? Yes, we can. However, we were hit by a very nasty volley of plasma in return. No! Oh, if I hit that shot, then it would have been a guaranteed kill, most likely. There we are. Getting 3 kills for the team now and missing that shot. Excellent. I think our teammates are going to finish him off nicely. Oh, that's an enemy there. I didn't even realise. Seriously, he was blue, and my instincts went, oh, blue is on our team. He's clearly a friend. Jiggling issue, please go away. Even when I landed there, it almost completely messed up my controls for a second. Aha! Ow. I was about to say, the underside Proto-seeker being quite useful there. Will I jiggle in the background? Sadly not, but still, top of the leaderboard. I felt a little bit better about my gameplay there. In fact, I felt infinitely better. I still have some concerns about how fragile this bot is. We only took a little bit of plasma, but we lost a lot of health. So let's get into another battle and see if we can take a bit more damage to see how well this robot falls apart. And so the third battle begins. At least this time we do have a Megabot. I'm always a fan of team deathmatches when the Megabot is included, just because it kind of lends better to the brawling in the middle of the map style of play. I'm getting a little bit bored now of the style of play where, due to the high number of flak weapons and weapons of that ilk, a lot of robots are just kind of ducking and hiding and then just making a very long, protracted battle. I prefer just getting right into the middle and then having a huge fight, and perhaps me being a little bit sneaky, trying to take off weapons from the enemy robots. That is what I enjoy. Like so! Let's help out with trying to take out the medic a little bit. You two. We are taking a couple of proto-seeker hits there. Not really doing anything to us, but we did take them regardless. And I completely missed the weapon. There we are. Oh look, it's a medic. Please poke your head out again. I'll be ever so delighted by that. I have no idea what happened to that last shot. Did it miss? Was I jiggling so it just shot somewhere else? I'm not even sure at all. Oh, there goes the enemy Megabot trying to come around the corner. Spot the enemies for our team. Let's just stick here until we got a better shot. Not really the best position, and we're jiggling again, so I'm going to have to move around. There we are, no longer jiggling. Yeah, we've got his tracking completely bugged up his movement. Ow! And we took a plasma volley from... I actually have no idea who just hit us, but we did lose a couple of legs. Why are my rails... Okay, there we are, now they're focusing. Not quite sure why they weren't focusing a second ago. Was I healing and thus moving around? Oh, rails, you do confuse me sometimes. At least the new variants of rails. Hello! The power of flak and rail combine to destroy the enemy flyer, or at least heavily hurt him. Ah, that Megabug got one last kill before being killed himself now. That was rather sad. And down he goes. Did he have the Alienware mask, like, all along the bottom of himself? Oh, hello. I know there's an enemy flak, but let's just jump down there. Holding down shift can be a little bit dangerous looking, but there we are, a victory, but still haven't really been able to test out the damage-taking capabilities just yet. I do want to see just how durable this robot is, so let's get into one last team deathmatch and see if we can throw ourselves at the enemy. I've not been overly confident about how well this thing can take damage so far, but of course it is a leaper, it is quite a hidden robot, a sneaky robot, so it isn't really its main purpose, but it would be nice if it could take a couple of hits. The final battle commences. Once again, we are in battle class 10 to 11, and thus we have a Megabot on our team. Excellent. Exactly what I like to see. So, what am I going to do on this map? I don't really want to fly to the center, I don't really want to fly anywhere, I want to just stay in this ridge here and just pretend nowhere else exists. This is the place of where I live. So, Mr. Megabot, where are you walking? You are going to the cave. Okay then, in that case we'll go ahead of you and just go over there so we're not in anyone else's way. Did I mention I really love how this thing leaps? The turning is very slow, and we just about drifted to the right position. There we are. Are we going to jiggle? No? Excellent. Our team managed to flip our Megabot. That's not good. We hit his Mega Gun at least. Well, that time we just hit the rotor. There we are, taking out the weapon at last. Ow! Aha! I just about moved out of the way in time. Skill, I tell you. I would love if this thing would shoot a little bit faster. Whoa, their entire team's up there. That is actually kind of terrifying. I may go medic for a second here because we're going to get absolutely eradicated otherwise. Oh, you're going my way, apparently. Sorry for getting in your way, but I do want to take a couple of shots if my reticule would ever focus. Which it wouldn't have since we were jiggling. If anyone wants to get sniper training, I think like lesson 1 would be don't jiggle. Or maybe lesson 2. Oh my lord, we missed the original target and then hit him. He's like a magnet. for rail shots, and ow, proto-seekers can do a fair bit of damage if you just stand there and take it. This bot being so circular is making it a little bit difficult for me to climb over this ridge easily. And we have been forced way further back than I would like, and you are standing there doing nothing. That's not very helpful. How many times do I need to take off your gun? Let's just get you back behind the ridge. Hit his shield, sadly. Oh, that flak, yeah, I was about to say that flak is definitely going to get the kill, and yes, yes it did. Back behind the ridge you go. Ow, that almost destroyed us in one volley. Okay, that's not good. Well, we dodged a couple of the shots because of the jump, thankfully. Can't really control my movement very well here, lads. Anyone happen to have a medic gun nearby? Or just the enemy not focusing on me, that helps as well. Thank you. Ah, they have a medic behind there healing their copters as they go down. Trying to attack them is almost pointless. I don't quite know why I'm going for his flak there, honestly. Just kind of was. Ow, plasma again. Oh, our Megabot is in a bad way. Let's see if we can heal it with all of our energy. My legs were getting in the way of the nano beam there quite a bit. Come on, let me heal him, please. Yeah, there's only a few angles I can actually go to where the nanos will actually heal. Sorry, nano will actually heal. I have less guns than you, it's not fair. Oh, I am the second to last one alive. And now I'm the last one alive. Yeah, that wasn't the most impressive of battles, it's got to be said. Both from my gameplay perspective, but also a lot of the limitations of the bot were also really shown there. So ignore that sneezing fit, which was very likely edited out of the video, and let's go back to the mothership so we can give our final opinions of the X-Sniper. Final thoughts then on the X-Sniper. I really think this is the classic example of a jack of all trades, but a master of none. It's trying to do so many things, which is really interesting, but it just falls short of really doing any of them overly well. It's trying to be a very balanced walker, it's trying to be a decent leaper, it's trying to be a rail and support robot, and a healer. It's got so many different elements to it, but upon adding so much to this bot with such a very cramped design, it just doesn't exceed overly well. One thing I will say is that actually removing a lot of the different parts, so if you remove the weapons and these poles and such, you could definitely make this a half-decent flak bot. I mean, definitely has the space for a flak weapon on top if you were to remove these thrusters. There we are. I think that would actually be a pretty good use of this bot if you were to balance the weight properly, or perhaps a lock-on missile launcher or a mega weapon or something of that kind of style, because it doesn't have enough space for multiple of one gun, or at least a lot of one gun to actually make it that useful. The reload of the rails really wasn't quite up to scratch. The placement of the nano seems a little bit odd and really difficult to get a good angle on, especially since it's on the bottom like this, so it can't even heal directly up very well, and that thruster gets in the way when it tries to. This weapon here is just getting in the way of everything. So I think as a basic design, it's fine. It really is. In terms of the leg placement, in terms of the thrusters, it moves really well and in a really fun fashion. I just think the weapons need to be changed, and that's the main point I'm trying to get to here. Just swap out the weapons for something more suiting of this kind of chassis, this kind of body type, and you're probably going to actually have a decent bot and a lot of fun with this. But with only 4 rails, with the weapon placement as it was, especially 200 CPU being used up in proto-seekers, I just can't really recommend it. But of course, thankfully, the X-Sniper is currently on the shop, if I can just type it in quickly. Did I really just put in spider? Wow, I am kind of programmed to apparently look at spiders now. There we are, the X-Sniper. Because it only comes with the nano weapon and none of the others, you can of course purchase this just for the body, just for the ability to jump and to leap from place to place very effectively, and then put your own weapon choices on. Perhaps even 5 railguns would be a good choice, changing out the middle proto-seeker, even if you have to move the rails a little bit just to get the space. I will also say that the aero rods are a little bit problematic because they do transfer damage in quite a painful way, losing the limbs very quickly. But I feel like I've criticised this bot quite a bit because of the criticisms I have levelled at it were quite, not complex, but needed quite a bit of explanation. I will really say this bot is definitely a 3 in combat. It's not bad, but it needs to be a little bit more specialised. I really like the idea, and I would love to see an improved version in the future, and I'm sure if you purchase it, you can very easily make it a very good robot. It's not far off in the slightest. And that may have been the longest final thoughts I've ever levelled at a robot. Please don't get the wrong idea. I do actually really like the robot. It may not be coming across, but I love this robot, and I'm actually going to be keeping it and changing it myself. It's one of the robots I will be keeping in my list of 25, so I think that really speaks for itself. And with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, then of course, likes, favourite, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Robocraft is a series you wish to see continued in the future. If you would like to see your robot in a future episode of Factory Fun, then please in the comment section below leave your username, the robot's name, the type of robot it is, and the ranking of the robot. Any other information is of course more than welcome, and the more information generally the better. Thank you again for watching, and goodbye.